Breaking news into Force Take. Jets owner Woody Johnson releasing this statement. This morning I informed Robert Saleh that he will no longer serve as the head coach of the Jets. I thanked him for his hard work these past 3.5 years and wished him and his family well moving forward. This was not an easy decision. We are not where we should be given our expectations, and I believe now is the best time for us to move in a different direction. Dan Orlovsky with us now, and former Jet Damien Woody. Hello, gentlemen. Thank you so much for being with us. I want to start with you, Damien, your reaction to this news.
Well, I mean, first of all, going off of Woody Johnson's statement, the fact that he said this is the best time. What the hell are you talking about? 5 games into a season? Like, it's never a good time to fire a coach in season, especially, with 5 games into it. If you wanted to remove Robert Saleh, you should have done it before the season, before all the fiasco when Aaron Rodgers was coming back off of injury. And I look at this whole situation. It's sad, man, because clearly Robert Saleh is being scapegoated here, and I'm not here to advocate for Robert Saleh because I think he's been underperforming as a head coach, during his tenure. But clearly, when you look at this situation, it all points to Aaron Rodgers, guys. This whole thing points to Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is not playing well. There's no question about it. Aaron Rodgers, the reason Nathaniel Hackett's in New York is because of Aaron Rodgers. We've talked about it time and time again on all the shows, how archaic, how unprepared this offense looks compared to other defenses. Just look at what the Denver Broncos and the Minnesota Vikings have done to this Jets offense. Okay, this offense looks from the 90s, and Aaron Rodgers has not been playing well. He's been turning the football over. They're not going to scapegoat Aaron Rodgers because they ceded all the power to Aaron Rodgers. So you go out here, you fire a head coach, and oh, by the way, this team still has an opportunity on Monday Night Football to go out here and be in first place in the AFC East if they beat the Buffalo Bills. It just makes, for me, it's a rash decision by the owner and Woody Johnson. It makes absolutely no sense. And I don't understand, I don't see how this ends. It ends in any great way for the New York Jets organization.
Dan, your reaction.
Yeah, this can't be a decision that is made strictly because of the on-field performance. I'll get into that a little bit. So Aaron came into this season with more pressure on him than any player in the NFL. This only expedites that. But the move makes me question, okay, does Nathaniel Hackett stay? And then how do they get better? Because the last 2 weeks, and Shannon, we didn't get into this yesterday, but the last 2 weeks, they lost because of the bad offensive performance. In my belief, it's not just the quarterback. And that's, Woody, you kind of talked about it. And that's why when everyone says, well, Aaron's not playing well, I don't think a lot of quarterbacks would be playing well in this offense. Now, if you want to blame Aaron for the scheme, we could have that conversation. One, the scheme, how does this offense get better? That's kind of where I'm at right now. The move happened. How did they get better? One, the scheme has to change. You can't stand still in 2024. So is that Nathaniel Hackett or is that Aaron? The history lends us to believe that it's Aaron, okay? That has to change. Number 2, they got to be better running the football on early downs. Their tight ends have to block better. The backs are really good. They got to block better. The 3, yes, they need a winner on the outside. That's why they have to trade for Davante Adams. And then I think Aaron can play better. The reason why I say, guys, this feels like a move that has to do with more than just the on-the-field performance, I honestly believe everyone needs to chill out about this offense. In the last 2 weeks, they've played 2 of the top 3 defenses in the NFL. Denver and Minnesota, they gave up 14 and 15 a game. They're awesome defenses. They made Jordan Love and Brock Purdy and C.J. Stroud look bad as well. This offense needs scheme-wise to evolve. They got to go get Davante Adams. And then we'll see what they can look like. But it feels like this move is more about the personality and relationship than just a lack of performance.
Hey, Woody, have you ever heard somebody say that defense, Peyton Manning or Tom Brady, oh, the defense, we're going to excuse their poor play and talk about the defense? They overcome that. That's why you went out and got Aaron Rodgers. That's why you gave up what you gave up to get him. That's why you sent those planes to coax him to come to the Jets, because he is such a talent that he's beyond defenses. At the end of the day, you got Nathaniel Hackett. He got a head coaching job because of Aaron Rodgers. He's in New York because of Aaron Rodgers. So we can't just say, well, yeah, Aaron, but you got – the Jets have given Aaron Rodgers everything he could have hoped for. Everything. He wanted Allen Lazard. They got him. They're going to probably go out and get Devontae Adams for him. They'll get him. He wanted Nathaniel Hackett as his offensive coordinator. He got him. They've given him everything. What more can you give him? Now you need more players. You didn't say you need more players when you had Zach Wilson or Joe Flacco or Mike White. You said it was the quarterback play. We had plenty. Now we need more? Wow. At some point in time. And I just want to say this, Stephen, I want you to go ahead and go because I know you got a lot to say, but I want to push back on Mike T because Mike T said he should have had a sat down, Robert Saleh should have sat down with him and had a conversation about playing in the preseason. I guarantee you Robert Saleh sat down with him and asked him to come to mandatory minicamp. He asked him to do that. And what happened? He was in Egypt, he was somewhere, but he wasn't where he was supposed to be. And that's the time that you work on things and you get better at things because you're not going to play in the preseason. Very few teams now, Woody, D.O., you know this, play their starters in the regular and the preseason. They just don't anymore. So all the work you're going to get in joint practices or you're going to get in mandatory minicamps or you're going to get in training camp. But you're not playing in the preseason.
You know, it's not a laughing matter. Somebody got fired, they lost their job, and we're going to treat that portion of the subject with the seriousness that it deserves. But there's nothing to stop me from laughing at you three. I watch y'all and I listen to the things that y'all say. And it's interesting sometimes what you don't say. And here's where I'm going to get at the three of y'all, former football players. You know, who's the new interim coach? Wasn't that the dude, Ulrich? Ulrich, right?
Jeff
that was the defensive coordinator, right? So why wasn't it Nathaniel Hackett? It wasn't Nathaniel Hackett because you've got folks very, very happy with the defense, very happy with the defensive coordinator. So much so that they're comfortable in elevating him because what they're saying is, quote, we're good with that side, and we don't even think Robert Saleh got much to do with that. So we can afford to let him go and put this guy in that position as long as it ain't Nathaniel Hackett. Now, it's just speculation on my part. I mean, far be it for me to deduce that the defensive coordinator has been elevated to the interim spot because if Robert Saleh was all about the defense, if he was the one that was primarily responsible for its success, then one would stand the reason you leave the defensive coordinator where he is because you don't want to compromise that and you elevate somebody else to the interim head coaching spot no matter what. That ain't what they did. What they did was take that defensive coordinator and put him in the head coaching spot because they said ain't no way in hell we going to let Nathaniel Hackett get there. But also they're saying Robert Saleh didn't, absolutely deserved every bit of blame that we're giving him. How accurate that is, I don't know. And I'm certainly not thinking that that's a reason to absolve Aaron Rodgers from his level of culpability in all of this. But when you hear folks literally coming out and defending Woody Johnson's decision, there is something that is not being said enough about Robert Saleh not having the confidence of that locker room. What I just said, all three of y'all know better than me. So say it. You know it better than me.
Hold on. Okay, Stephen A., let me say this. First of all, I'm not sitting here and defending Robert Saleh at all. His record speaks for itself. You are what your record says you are, okay? There's no question about that. But my question to you is this. By firing Robert Saleh right now, does this make them a better football team? We don't know. Does this change does this change Stephen A. and Shannon, D.O., you guys know this. How many times have we seen throughout history you fire a coach during the season and all of a sudden the team just takes off? It rarely happens. It rarely happens. Why? Because there's deeper issues. There are deeper issues that usually are embedded in the team. Okay? There are deeper issues. And I think, listen, Dano is right. I will say this. The past 2 weeks, the Jets have played two of the best defenses in the National Football League. I get all of that. But clearly, this is a flawed team, particularly on offense, and Aaron Rodgers is not Aaron Rodgers. Okay, one thing we know about Aaron Rodgers, historically, he's been one of the best quarterbacks at taking care of the football. The past couple weeks, the Jets have thrown the ball 96 times, guys. A 40-year-old quarterback throwing the ball 96 times and he's turned the ball over. That's not a recipe for success with a 40-year-old quarterback. Come on.
Age ain't nothing but a number. I mean, we all prove that. Age ain't nothing but a number. Let's go
Hey,
ahead.
Stephen A., can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes,
if
sir.
Aaron Rodgers keep playing the same way, you fired Robert Saleh, but Aaron Rodgers keep playing the same way, what you going to get?
I'm going nothing. And then we'll know definitively that it was him.
So in other words, if you kept Robert Saleh and Aaron Rodgers plays better, you still have a chance to win the division.
Yes, you
so
would.
Theoretically, it's not. So in other words, if we play.
Don't switch. Look, man, this ain't nightcap. Don't try to switch it. Don't think that I've been drinking some.
That's what you did.
Like Laportier with Shea by Laportier. I ain't been drinking that
But
yet.
that's what you said.
I'm gonna get some tonight though. But the point that I'm trying to make to you, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is this. If you have the defensive coordinator that has been elevated and you have people literally saying life is a bit better today because Saleh is gone, I'm saying we're going to find that out. We know we can't absolve Aaron Rodgers. That's a given. But it is plausible that they didn't have the head coach they need.
All right, do we have time for Shannon? Can Shannon get in here?
No, Dan. Let Dan go. Go ahead, Dan. Say your piece.
Here's my thing. This has to be outside of performance. Guys, they lost to two good football teams and great defenses. Greg Zuerlein makes a kick 2 weeks ago. They win. Aaron doesn't throw that one pick six this past weekend. As bad as they played, they win. So this has to be more than that. At the end of the day, they have to go trade for Devontae Adams. The offense has to get more modern. They got to run block better on first downs. And yes, Aaron has to play better, but he is not going to play better. He won't unless some of the surrounding pieces improve.
So Jeff Saturday back here with us and Domonique Foxworth. Jeff, I'll come to you. Final thoughts on the firing of Robert Saleh 5 games into the season.
Yeah, disappointed. 5 games isn't enough. Again, Aaron Rodgers wasn't here last year. He got injured at the beginning of the season. 5 games, and the offense has played very poorly the last 2. That's not on a defensive-minded head coach whose defense has put them and gave them opportunities to win each game. So do I think it was fast? I think it was reactionary from a bad loss out there, a long plane ride. I don't think they made the right decision here. I'd at least, even if you want to fire him, wait till the season's over and then move on.
Shannon?
Look, at the end of the day, I'm not an apologist for Robert Saleh. If he didn't get the job done, I don't think he's had very good quarterback play in his entire tenure. And that's how you become a very good to a great head coach. You look at the great coaches, look at the coaches that are in the Hall of Fame, with the exception of maybe Parcells and Joe Gibbs. All the other coaches that's in the Hall of Fame had Hall of Fame quarterbacks. That's how you win games, that's how you win championships, and that's how you stay at the tenure for an extended period of time. So I'm not here to apologize for Robert Saleh's record, but what I was told is that a lot of his lack of success was tied to quarterback play. Well, he's in a situation where he's not having quarterback success, and he has the best quarterback that he's had. Even though Aaron Rodgers is 40 years of age, he's still the best quarterback that Robert Saleh has had, and the job isn't getting done. So guys need to play better, not just Aaron Rodgers, but guys need to play better as a whole, and we'll see if this was the right decision.
Absolutely. Neek?
Yeah, it feels like it's not, for me at least, it doesn't follow like any sort of logic because it doesn't speak to exactly what was wrong with this problem. But I think that it's a reasonable decision when you're panicked and they're just shaking up the snow globe and hoping that something comes out. And like statistically, and over the past 25 years, teams that fire their head coach do have a better winning percentage under the new guy. I don't know the reason why, but it's the thing that actually has happened. So maybe they're hoping that they'll get that boost, and in that period, whatever psychological boost comes from the team, like having their attention brought to the fact that this is real, serious, people are losing jobs. And maybe they'll, in the time that they have that emotional boost, they'll also address the actual issues that this team has.
I'm not implying that the man should have lost his job, and I'm certainly not celebrating it. But I do think that it's important to contextualize things. Number one, this is not a first-year coach. He's been there for 3.5 years. It does stand to reason that people watched how he operated in the building and helped that draw a conclusion. Secondly, usually an interim coach is somebody that had head coaching experience. The only person on the Jets staff that has head coaching experience was Nathaniel Hackett, and they didn't give it to him.
Oh, hell no.
So
you can't hire him.
Of course you're not going to. Hell no. Hell
Shannon,
to the
tell
no.
us how you really feel.
Hell to the no. We know that. We know how I feel about that. So I've been going off about Nathaniel Hackett for quite a while. So understanding all of that, recognizing you have to recognize the fact that there's something that was going on in that building when it came to Robert Saleh, all right, that just didn't do it for people. And so I'm looking at it from that standpoint and looking at the fact that they took a defensive coordinator and elevated him to that position. And I'm saying to myself, clearly they felt that not only was he capable, but he was deserving of credit for what the defense was doing as opposed to Saleh. Now, we're not going to completely strip Saleh of credit for that. The man got the head coaching job because he was exceptional as a defensive coordinator. We understand that. But the point is, they're saying, we think we're going to be fine on that side of the ball. This is what we are. We have to make changes. Why are they doing that? There's more to this, guys, than just what we saw on that football field. Yeah. And that's what I'm trying to say.
Stevie, the old saying is, if it doesn't come out in the wash, it'll come out in the rinse. Now, eventually, people are going to start to talking and tell us what it was like inside that building. Fox, you said over the last 25 years when they bring an interim in, the team does do better. You know why they do better? Because they're like, hold on, they fired the coach. My ass might be next.
Exactly.
Let me pick up my play. That's what happens. Had it been doing that in the beginning, the coach wouldn't have got fired. And if you don't play better, you might be next behind the coach.
Exactly. Right. Yep. They were certainly sending a message. And the point that you brought up is an interesting one because moving Albright off of the defense might hurt the defense. Like if he is the defensive coordinator, giving him new responsibilities. So this doesn't like pretend that this is, let's not pretend that this means that this team is automatically going to get better.